Ladies and gentlemen, the books is in. The books are in. Yep. They in. They're here.
Log in to KofiPaisaTV.com and get Spears of the Mossy Volume 1 by Kofi Paisa Research Team, from Spears the Pen Volume 2 by Kofi Paisa Research Team, Spiritual Combat Volume 3 by Kofi Paisa Research Team, One Night Before Bed by Any Harret Shawn Calfunny, Kalawa's Trip to the Motherland by Kofi Paisa, From Cocaine to Consciousness by Any Harret Shawn Calfunny, As I Learned, We All Learn by Kofi Paisa. Also, if you want fresh merch, go to our online store, Family Connect Apparel, and get all the brands. Also, get our 54 deck of quiz and educational cards available now on KofiPaisaTV.com.
ETM Hotel. What it do, what it do, what it do. Hey, man, before I get this show started, man, I need y'all to like the show, share the show. Come on now. What up, Keenan? What up, Aronde? Hit that like button. We about to have some fun. Y'all gotta rock with me on this. Gotta rock with me on this now. Come on now. Come in the building. We finna have some fun. Yeah, man. Let me give y'all some time to get in here, because this thing is finna get interesting. Do y'all see the title to the show? If you just clicked on without reading the title to the show, man, I got a surprise for y'all. We are about to overturn science. We are. What up, Pure? What's good with you, bro? What the business is? What up, y'all? What up? What up? What up, Chavy? What up? There you go, Chay. I don't feel like copying and pasting and all that. What's good, y'all? Like the show, share the show. I'm sharing it right now, so I'm just trying to give people some time to slide in, see if they're going to mess with us. To see if we're going to catch some people that want to mess with us this evening. You know what I'm saying? Let's see who's rocking with us. Who rocking with us? You start right there. Keenan already in here. Okay, what up, ATL? What's good? Hey, man, like the show, share the show, man. Hey, before I even get started, man, let me bring Chavis in here, bro. You want to go ahead and say something?
No, I'm just trying to see what's the
you ain't
daily.
Gonna yourself or nothing. You just gonna come on the Massa Warrior Clan channel and you not say nothing.
I'm saying I'm just here to, you know what I'm saying, I'm official, you know what I'm saying, gotta let boys know that. So I got the link, I can get on here and stuff now, but outside of that, I just want to hear the daily pseudoscience. Cause you seem to he be hearing stuff that I ain't even like. I be like, how does he even run across this stuff, man?
Man,
Outlandish.
my ear to the street, bro.
Yo, yeah,
I
that
be,
boy, yeah,
I be, I
boy,
be,
yo, yeah, close. You be hearing it before
yeah.
it even must get out.
I just don't respond to everything, but I be hearing it. I be hearing it. It get too loud, I might respond. The noise get too loud.
You be
What it
getting them before they even must get out the
what it
bag. That boy be, huh?
what Q butter do, Pure?
Uh-oh.
We can call Unc on that. What he do? What he do, Pure?
They gotta keep me up to date on the Sonetta business because I don't keep up.
Yeah, I don't watch that. It's a rap for me.
For real, for real. I have no interest in being dumbed down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't deal with that. Nah, bro, he can't be anti-vax. He promotes science. He promotes scientific literacy.
Promote science and anti-vax. That don't even go. That shouldn't even be in the same sentence. Can't do that. Vaccine is scientific innovation. What you got though?
Hold on, man. I ain't got nothing till we get some people in the building. Till the people get in the building, bro. I ain't got nothing, bro. I know I'm late. I know it's 11 o'clock on the 12 o'clock on the East Coast, and you know what I'm saying? 11
Everybody,
Central. But dang, I mean, you know, the Cali people, where y'all at, man?
everybody gotta be up. Right, 8, 9 out there.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't even got in the bed yet.
Mm-mm. Nah, they ain't gonna be it. You see Suchek ain't even on here though. What that tell you?
He probably at the stove. I already know what he doing.
Mm-hmm. See Pure and Keenan, they in Cali.
Okay, that's why they up.
Mm-hmm. We gonna get started in a minute, y'all. Just bear with me a moment. I'm trying to finish off this late night snack.
I'm boy going in
I ain't
too.
quite, I'm trying to buy some time though, so I let people share the show. You know what I'm talking about?
Like and share the show, man.
I ain't
Don't
like a
tune in. Hit that like button. If you gonna tune in, gotta tap that one good time. And go on share it.
get us in the algorithms. Get
Yeah.
us in the algorithms, family. Look, and he got a school. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He got a school, but it's not really like a school, but you know how it go. Yeah, I'm just gonna say he got a school. A curriculum and the whole nine. But he don't
See,
want no smoke over the vaccine.
you don't want to see you on that.
Mm-mm. Yeah, he better stick to what he doing over there. Mm-mm.
Keep that over there inside that, and don't bring that on the way else. You gonna bust some bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
Load it up in there. Try to get this.
Let me
Suit
see
up.
here. Okay, so Sutek and Merc, yeah. I don't know what up with Sutek. Sutek tripping. He gonna claim me at the store. Seriously, dude, anti-vax like a mother. I never really heard him say anything about vaccines. Was he on the show today or something?
I don't know. I know I seen you, but I put the screenshot in there. I ain't anything saw that. I ain't. Unless it got Uncle. I saw a Woo Drive on there. That's the most that'll make me slide over and look at it. Anything outside of that ain't really worth my time no more. I'll be learning something.
Let me see here. Ricardo was good. Ricardo seemed to know. He said Cuba is a jack. Some what he was saying was pure foolishness. Where does Sonetta find his client? Oh, okay, so he was on Sonetta today and the other day. Look at the show Q did with Kofi. I didn't hear. Well, I didn't watch the show with dude. I mean, I was working, so I had to mute it. But you know what I'm saying. Well, I can't say I didn't watch it. I didn't listen. Did he say something about vaccines on that show? I can go there now. That's my channel. I can go on there. If he said something on this show about vaccine, I know he didn't say nothing about vaccines on this show.
I ain't. That was one of them. I ain't get to catch that.
Hold on. I got him pulled up.
Then where you infect and change, man, and you and Muhammad, and you know, being a New Yorker, Elijah Muhammad, Mark. With that, man, I mean, and because I want to highlight like a lot of stuff that you just said, you know, you engineering and astrophysics books, because that's something too, man, that I admire about you too, is your programs. We're gonna get into some of your courses because you teach STEM. So we're gonna talk about that, man. We're gonna talk about STEM in a few minutes, man. But you know, and before we talk about before we talk about your institution, because I seen where in the past I done seen that a couple of times where you know you correct people right off the rip. I consider my IX4. But in school it wasn't aligned with what I was trying to do. I had a business, beautiful opportunity, but the actual team, like you really can't get a space on Zyx if you can't do something. Like you have to be good at something, and we'll help you become good at something. But to me, that's really how a nation is built, you know, by people who actually can do and provide for themselves, and through what they the accreditation board policies in New York. No, you know, so we skip around all of those issues, and I find that a lot of people, especially in New York, when I speak to people that made schools, and it's like they can't say they're for Black children. They're like, how do you say I'm for Black children? Because my mission statement states that we're here for the development and enhancement of Black people, Aboriginal people, people of indigenous descent, African descent, Afro-Latina, Black people. If you ain't one of those people, I don't even like using the term Afro-Latina. But
hey, what are you skipping around?
And depending on how you charter or form your business, you can't make statements like that. So that's pretty much that in a nutshell. Right. It kind of makes sense. Like you know, you said you don't want to deal with some of the politics and the legalities. You know, you here for Black people and Black people only. And I understand. Like I was trying to
when I first moved back home, I was trying to start a program and self-defense program, growing your own foods program, um, youth elder program where we closing that gap between the elders and the youth, work programs, all kind of stuff. And I worked on it with a couple of individuals. But when it got time to start putting the work in, we met, we strategized, we came up with, mission statement, we came up with, different things. We reached out to certain people to help us with, but when it got time to actually start putting the work in and building and trying to get the brick and mortar, a lot of people kind of, broke out. They didn't want to put the work in. And then my mother's husband, he took it to someone, and they actually was going to help me put the program together, but helped me with the program, but I declined on the program. It is, and excuse me, I apologize.
Need no smoke, right? We always talk about this war with white folk. I ain't ready for no smoke with white folks. So I stay the hell away from them.
So I
understand the universe because I need to help Black people. Beautiful opportunity. Several.
Okay. No doubt. Education, man. Do you got any
Come on, man.
Trying to master gearing,
your
Jersey, Georgia, or whichever state we go to, the laws that govern a school in those states are completely different. One particular aspect of the law is the non-discriminatory clause, where in New York, you have to have an open, your discriminatory clause policies have to be up to New York's policies. And that means you have to include gay people, all people. And I'm only here for Black folks, and I'm here to build a Black family. So if your lifestyle is contrary to being able to build a Black family, I can't support you at this current time. If you're not Black or in a relationship with a Black, not in a relationship, if you're Black, but not in a relationship with a White person, I ain't got the time for you. You know what I mean? Like, we really have to focus on developing and enhancing our Black family. And so I don't want to deal with, the policies that go along with the bureaucratical processes that is needed to become a school in New York. So I would never create a school in New York, even if, you'd have to become a religious school in New York. And then at that point still, they change the laws. Now we go into, once you say you're a school in New York, you have to have a vaccination clause. You see what I mean? So it doesn't matter. They remove the religious exemption. So if I was a school, you automatically have to deal with the vaccination clauses. For example, like, not to bring up, Brother Umar, but like when he opens his doors, because he's a school, you have to have a vaccination clause. You see what I mean? So I don't want to deal with that conversation. So for me, as a nonprofit education service provider, I skip that whole process. I provide education to the people that solicited me to provide it to them. It's just that simple. Do you need a vaccination to enter my doors? No. Do we have to adhere to vaccination rules? No. Do we need to deal with the accreditation board policies in New York? No. So we skip around all of those issues. And I find that a lot of people, especially in New York, when I speak to people that made schools, and it's like they can't say they're for Black children. They're like, how do you say I'm for Black children? Because my mission statement states that we're here for the development and enhancement of Black people, Aboriginal people, people of indigenous descent, African descent, Afro-Latina, Black people. If you ain't one of those people, I don't even like using the term Afro-Latina, but I want to make it explicitly understood that this is for us. And depending on how you charter or form your business, you can't make statements like that. So that's pretty much that in a nutshell.
Right. It kind of makes sense. Like you said you don't want to deal with some of the politics and the legalities. You hear
business. I was struggling.
Kofi let him off the hook. The moment that he brought up, that he didn't want to deal with vaccines, Kofi let him off the hook. Because what if those kids had COVID-19 and passed it on to the other kids that's in his school? Then what he has done was provided a pathway for a virus to transmit from one person to another, infecting the entire room and even himself. We're in the middle of a pandemic, and to make that actual statement shows the ignorance. Kofi let him off the hook.
Yeah, that's why he don't want to deal with that. It's a debate. He just want to make his statement, where his position on it, and his position is he don't want to deal with the policies and procedures
You
and
don't. You
whatnot.
won't have no school if all your kids is sick and dead. What school you gonna have if all your kids sick and dead? Let's see what else he say. Let's see. We found him. We found him at the 19-minute mark. So let's see what else he say.
Medgar Evers College wrote a letter, and he did I'm giving him $70,000-$80,000 a year. So I can't even recruit in that area, because how can I recruit a teacher with $70,000-$80,000 a year, and we barely get $6,000 in donations a year? So I had to say, I'm not recruiting teachers. Then I started talking to teachers about curriculums, and I realized that no teacher really writes their own curriculum. What protections do you have?
To be honest, man, we learn how to write school curriculums in college. And you do have teachers that actually put their curriculums together because they're hands-on like that. But most of them are not. In order to be a regulated school, you need your students to be vaccinated. That's disturbing, but let me see.
You can't have somebody's credit report say something negative, and then you ask them to give it to you. You tell them, look, proper inference. They have to go through the discriminatory to run the school. You see the mix. I started to meet a lot of teachers. Then it just was turning into like all these different times I had to deal with the city. And I realized, you know what? That's what got me into credit repair, when I was realizing that it's just reading the paperwork and sticking to it. Most people don't want to do the work to fight their credit. And then most people don't want to read the law. And so just those two pieces alone allow. And when they do show up to kill, they don't know their case.
Right.
And then after that is knowing the law, but at least being able to read, a lot of things came into space,
How you was gonna be coming, brother?
I'll be having to ask. I'll be having like, all right, let me curb my speech. But yeah, I don't be want no help for no crackers and getting dependent on these crackers. It's like going to a gym and you lifting weights, but the weights is being pulled up for you. So you like this, you struggle.
Okay. I see why they made a comment, because they talking to Jeremiah, Mr. Super African. He says, I applaud this brother for skipping the vaccinations. Great move. And then they responding to him in the chat. Jeremiah Africa, why is that commendable, fam? You know what I'm saying? What's wrong with those things? This dude is pseudo. This the same dude that said that the money was fake and the currency was fake. And there's a difference between westernized currency and African currency. I say currency is currency. Money is an exchange for goods and services. And he gonna try to say it's somehow it's kind of different in Africa than anywhere else. I'm like, no, bro. They use cowrie shells the same way they use printed paper.
Yeah, it's still the same concept.
But okay, I see that they're talking to him. So this ain't a Cuba scenario right here. Yeah, it's super pseudo. In order to be a regulated school, you need your students to be vaccinated. So I'm wondering if he says that somewhere before Anusha says something, because see, she don't comment right here. So let's see.
And his ability to articulate himself and the way he was able to manage the courtroom just off of his personality. And he turned my father's report into a 10-point letter. And it took 3 years, but they could never get past that. And I remember my grandmother at one point was like, yo, Q, maybe you should go to jail. And they were like, you know what? It's getting difficult. Like the city doesn't want to give up. They offering you 5 years. They offer you this many years. Why don't you take it? And I was like, no. Like, at the time, religion helped me stick through it and say, God freed me to fight. And so my job is to fight. I'm going to fight every day until this crack finds a way to put me in the jail. I am not willingly going back. We fighting till my attorney, you find something else to do to fight. And that was enough time for my father to wake up and tear apart the case. So what that taught me was don't give up, fight, read the law, break everything down, and never give up. And so that principle carried on to when I got into business with Ziax. I got sued by the city. And while most people that just gave up on their business and shut down,
okay.
Churches in the neighborhood got space. I've been talking about needing space. I have this, the first floor where I'm at now, he used to talk heavy about churches and the fact that then it just was turning into like all these different times I had to deal with the city. And I realized, you know what? That's what got me into credit repair when I was realizing.
Okay, so she's responding to Q-Butter because in order for you to get a building or to get, you know, the regulator do it, yeah, in order to be a regulated school, you need your students to be vaccinated. So she's responding to that, why he's struggling to get funding and things of that nature. So
our babies are being led down the road to failure. They are being led down the road to failure due to the low level of expectations. Then when I started talking to teachers about the curriculum and the action that happens while I'm using your residential location to carry out my business, because she was really worried about that, you know, and especially with the, you know, to the city.
Hey, Peace, can I just chime in? I want to chime in on some of the points he made. Peace to you, Q.
Peace.
You know, I commented early on your astronomical endeavors, but I think it's important, kind of what I'm gathering just from all of the information that you know, just offering on the show today. You know, because most people don't break things down and think about things as components. Everything is a multifunctioning component, like ourselves. It's a multifunctioning organ. We're one organ really looked into.
The fact that happened. I don't want any student to have an experience like that. But unfortunately, that's going to happen. You know, there's going to be people that you got to remove from the club. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody go to the club on the party sometimes. You got to get removed.
Yeah. Man, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to after the show with I'm
Kofi
trying to move in the field of
for the geographical aspect of the curriculum, we're going to use this book so that so the program is what? To be able to get the children to the next level of staff.
All right,
requisite to college. Most
I ain't chasing them. Enough. We heard his stance. So let's get on with the get on, man. You know what I'm saying? This is what we out here for this evening, yo. Social media scientists, yo. So let's deal with it. We're gonna go to Hunk West because this is where the home of all the social media scientists are. And we're gonna deal with it. Yeah. We need to be updated on the scholarship. So this way you come to get the what? Hold on, bro. Listen. This is where we come to get to deal with social media scientists so that we can get updated on the scholarship in the social media world. They don't own labs. They don't test. They don't have anything to look at blood. They ain't got no microscopes. They ain't got no magnifying glasses. They ain't got no
they got real glasses because they don't even be reading the full article.
Listen, I don't know how they come to the conclusion that they come to, but the social media scientists for the win. So
they got a dub,
bruh. Let me show you.
Oh, man. Oh.
Hold on 1 second.
Got a dub.
Man, listen, bro. You don't even. Let's see. I'm finna show you what these scientists do. Let me show you what these scientists do. So here we go.
Them boys stay up to date on everything.
I'm sitting back wondering what in the hell is wrong with black people. It's only a damn vaccine. They're not stupid. CK said either ignorant or stupid or both. Let's give it up for CK.
Hand clap. Everybody.
Sitting back. You can hand clap.
You need to get the hand. You need to get a hand clap.
All right. Okay, sitting back. Mika, that's why he sitting back. I don't get that. Don't worry about us. You got that mRNA injection. Now go back to your regular scheduled program. Thumbs up. Got mine today. Lorenzo said, got mine today. Of course you know that. He says, you already know. That's why you do the work that you do when you get frustrated, take a break. No, it's not only a vaccine, it's a new technology. I laughed. I laughed. You gonna see this name. Look, you gonna see Tinker. She coming up. She on there.
Oh man, that's the same
Unc
girl.
says, yeah, man. Unc says you can read. Look. Here you go, and it's on. I love how this is worded. Let's see what she posts, y'all. Our operating system. Look what she got highlighted. Now, she didn't do this. Someone else did this, and they're trying to pass it off. Now, instead of reading the whole thing, let's deal with it. Our operating system recognizes the broad potential of mRNA science. We set out to create an mRNA technology platform that functions very much like an operating system on a computer. It is designed so that it can plug and play interchangeably with different programs. In our case, the program or app is our mRNA drug, the unique mRNA sequence that codes for a protein. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs,
That's it.
mammals and mammals, chickens and all of that, roosters. Listen, all they are doing in this first paragraph is explaining something in a way that you could understand exactly what they're saying, because they say functions very much like an operating system on a computer. They're talking about technology.
Analogy.
Right. That's it. That's an analogy. That's all this is.
Right there. That's figurative language they're using.
Right.
Basically.
However, she finds this funny. I love how this is worded. We have a dedicated team of several hundred scientists and engineers solely focused on advancing Moderna's platform technology. They are organized around key disciplines and work in an integrated fashion to advance knowledge surrounding mRNA science and solve for the challenges that are unique to mRNA drug development. Some of these disciplines include mRNA biology, chemistry, formulation, and delivery, bioinformatics, and protein engineering. They're laying down their groundwork no matter what it is. Now, when you're a social media scientist, you can say, I love how this is worded, but you don't refute it, because nobody really understands what you mean by you love how this was worded. What do you mean? So, me, I'm laughing, doesn't comprehend what a vaccine is. He responds, don't comprehend what genetic modification is. He's saying, I don't. Then she posts, have you seen this? Now, she goes specifically to this. Will the vaccine protect me? As explained in the NHS leaflet, it is not yet known whether our vaccination can stop you from contracting COVID-19 yourself or transmitting the illness to those you come in contact with. I'm going to stop right there because it is essential in the forwardness of this conversation. He says, yes, I have. But when I post this type of information straight from the website, I'm accused of not knowing how to read. Notice the vitamins they mentioned. I have posted Dr. Shivra Yardira protocol since COVID first started. The pseudo. You come up, Quack Watch. We already did a show. The vitamins are high dosage fight the virus. But what's called a quack, well, yeah, he's 3 degrees from the MIT. Okay. Apparently, this guy didn't do his homework. We've already dealt with him on his channel. We're not going to revisit this pseudo. Then he says, Tink, I stated that those so-called vaccines are experimental, yet one's claim I don't comprehend. At this stage, this is a cult of personality because the science confirms my position. She responds, even Fauci said he's good because he takes approximately 10K vitamin daily. FYI, the evidence was released months ago showing that protects you and prevents infection and hospitalization and death. This is a lie. Oh, this is me. Look, watch. Now, I'm going to call my comment a lie right here. Now, why am I calling this a lie? You're about to see. She's reposted old stuff, updated your information. Here's where my lie is. In here, red, tell the folks in the side effects group they're lying about family, friends dying and side effects that have been lasting weeks, etc. So now I am lying when I say the evidence was released months ago showing that protects you and prevents infection and hospitalization and death. Okay?
Yeah, we got that. We got
I'm answering his question here. I'm answering this. So for anyone, yes, I'm answering the screenshot.
What's the date on that?
It says, like, will the vaccine protect me? I am telling you that yes, it protects you and prevents infection and hospitalization and death.
Yeah,
but I'm lying. But I'm lying, ladies and gentlemen. I'm lying. Now remember, I'm lying. Where's my evidence? I'm lying till I show my evidence.
Yeah, now, extra data too, right?
Right. So now I come with the evidence. I am no longer lying. Available COVID-19 vaccines that are currently 3 COVID-19 vaccines available in the United States of Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson. Other COVID-19 vaccines in development. You can find other COVID-19 vaccines that are in clinical trial phase 2 and 3. Excuse me. Through the COVID-19 vaccine tracker. All the available vaccines are very safe and great at preventing hospitalization and death from COVID-19. Getting vaccinated is the most effective way to protect yourself and your family from the risk of COVID-19. That's from Wisconsin. Let me go again. A new CDC provides strong evidence that mRNA vaccines are highly effective in preventing SARS-CoV-2 infection in real-world conditions among healthcare personnel, first responders, and other essential workers. These groups are more likely than the general population to be exposed to the virus because of their occupation. I'm going to slow it down, ladies and gentlemen. A new CDC study provides strong evidence that mRNA vaccines are highly effective preventing SARS-CoV-2 infections in real-world conditions among healthcare professionals. What they did was they tested 4,000 healthcare workers. Okay. It's going to say that down here, but I'm staying right up here and I ain't even looking down there. We put this up before. This is from the CDC website. They did a trial. They did a testing. All the people were vaccinated. This is how they found out that 90% of the healthcare workers did not spread the infection, did not have a breakthrough infections, and then everything else was good to go. Because these are the people that were these are the people that will be highly likely than the general public. We not around COVID-19 patients. These people in the hospital around COVID every day.
Every day, 24/7.
Now, the study looked at the effectiveness of the Pfizer Moderna vaccine, the SARS-CoV-2, in 4,000 people. Study participants, 6 states, over a 13-week period between December and March 13th. It concluded in March 13th, my brother's birthday. Now, 13-week study. All right. They looked at it. The results showed that following the second dose of the vaccine, the recommended number of doses, risk of infection was reduced by 90%. 2 or more weeks after vaccination. Following a single dose of either vaccine, the participants' risk of infection with SARS-CoV-2 was reduced by 80%. 2 or more weeks after vaccination. The vaccine is working. Now, remember, I'm lying. My comment is a lie. Thanks to the study published yesterday by the CDC and prevention, we now have our answer. According to the study, which is conducted on nearly 4,000 healthcare workers, first responders, and so forth. I'm giving you different perspectives of the same study. I'll give you 3 different sources to corroborate. But here we are. Now, look what she says. She doesn't refute anything that I posted. She then says this. That's why I said tell those in the group they're lying about family and friends dying after receiving the vaccine. You failed again. I tell her that she failed. Y'all just refuse to be scientifically literate. Ain't nobody dying from no vaccine. We got one confirmed death from Canada that died from AstraZeneca. None of us taking that. And one from a rare blood platelet situation in Johnson & Johnson. We're gonna give them that. Now, if we want to give them 5 more other ones, you can do that. If you want to go to VAERS reporting system and you want to deal with VAERS and say 1,600, well, then give them that. But there's almost 200 million people vaccinated. So that ain't even a whole person yet in the population. That's very low in the population. All right, so as I continue, people make up stuff all day on Facebook. How can you confirm a side effect? I had chills after my second shot, and I felt like I had gotten sick for 2 days. I guess I should be in that group crying foul, huh? We ain't listening to lies on social media. Show your work, prove it. Look what she does. Okay, believe WTF you want. I don't care. One confirmed. Okay. Look, she sends me to a link called COVID-19 Vaccine Side Effects Group, a Facebook group, y'all. This Facebook group,
I've been in the
this Facebook group is going to prove to me that the vaccine has all these side effects and it's killing people. There's 1,700 people. There's 1,700 people in this group, and there's 1,600 reported VAERS. So this dude from Switzerland who created the group, he's the only admin in the group. So you already know what they're talking about. I don't want to be in that group. Why?
So I was in there. They were talking about they got shut down, and they can't keep them down. Can't keep their information. You know, they can't suppress it. They created another group. I don't know why they took it down at one point.
Are you? Now, I continue. With COVID-19 vaccine distribution underway around the world, all eyes are on the people who have already received their jabs. For people who do not read past the headlines, concerning narrative has appeared. 15 deaths after coronavirus vaccine, deaths at care center, volunteer vaccine trial dies of COVID-19. In each of these cases, there's been more to the story than meets the eye. DW Review reports from Italy, Australia, South Korea, Germany, Spain, the United States, Norway, Belgium, and Peru, finding that in most cases, health authorities have not found causal links between the vaccination and death. So I put that. Now, watch this. And you say people are brainwashed that believe the Bible. I don't understand you, them, or anyone. Show me the data. Show me the proof. I don't want to be talked to death. You've been proven wrong numerous times, and you've always misrepresented the facts. I'm talking to Tink. Every death was COVID. Bullcrap. Believe what you want. Never isolated the virus, but somehow know exactly what it is and that it's caused all these deaths. What does she mean, never isolated the virus? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs.
You got a whole picture of the virus. Never isolated the virus.
All right. So what I'm going to show you is an image of SARS-CoV-2. Y'all see this right here?
You gotta give them the real one though. The real one.
Get him the real one.
The real one from the microscope. Them boys think it's a duck. Like they think it's fake. Trick. They got a picture, man. They got a whole picture.
You sure you want? No. I don't want to do. I don't want to go under the microscope and get to them. I
They got a
mean,
whole video.
they might
of
be
him
seeing it.
there.
Yeah, they got a whole video. They got a whole video. But see, you know, there go scans of it right there. What I'm trying to tell y'all is, look, if you look very closely, this like under a microscope right here. But what he talking about is the one with the color where they just go under the microscope and show you and where it's recorded. So what I'm trying to tell y'all is they know what it looked like. We got the images. You know what I'm saying?
They don't even know how to pretty much treat it and save people now. Like we not in 2020 no more. It's 2021. Like how slow do they think scientists and doctors is?
So her comment, I can't, you know, when people say stupid stuff, I usually just keep on, let it go. I said, like, a Facebook group is going to confirm something. Where's the data? Get the fuck out of here. You hadn't proved shit wrong. You just posted exactly what they've programmed you to post. So now they program you to post. Stick to your script. Bruh posts the history of vaccine. Damon does. He goes, says false. They've been working on it for many years. CK, and then it stops. Now, just in this first conversation, meet Facebook scientist Tinkle McIsicles. She made that name up. And Issa El Mahdi. Meet them, y'all. These are the first scientists on Facebook scientists on Unc's page. Notice, out of the sources that I dropped, refuting the screenshots that she posted, she never addressed the sources. She got totally away from the information.
She characterized them as you being brainwashed.
Right.
Yeah. Typical pseudo stuff.
Correct.
Science is for you. That's the scholarship. That's what you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
They brought it right there. That was a challenge.
Now, here we go. So he says clowns. And then it says black people who do not take the vaccine are clowns. This gentleman. He says, Eric Field, black people have the worst health and worst health outcomes in the country. Now a health emergency comes along. Of course, black people are going to underperform in getting the vaccine. We underperform in health generally. Now, that's a good point. All right. And then James says, I spoke to a brother today. He just recovered from COVID not too long ago. He said people crazy as hell if they don't get the vaccine. Kadeem, we ain't got to read him here in the chat, I think. Yeah, he in the chat. We ain't got to say nothing. Now, meet Nat Tubman, the next social media scientist.
You got a degree?
Yeah, he got a degree in social media science as a scientist. Okay. So he says, watch this video and maybe it will help you understand. Don't nothing be wrong with us until they start effing with us with those vaccines. So before I play the video, hold on. Before I play the video, just hold on. Before I play the video.
He just said what I think he said.
Yeah. All right. Before I play the video, I know y'all tired of seeing it pop up like this, but it's the way it's just gonna have to be. Now, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976 allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticisms, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. So we're on social media and we're going to go to this brother's source. And I'm going to play it all the way through without stopping.
As the world continues to focus on his case, we'll focus on the content of the thousands of State Department cables that WikiLeaks is continuing to publish. One of the cables reveals that the pharmaceutical giant Pfizer hired investigators to dig up dirt on Nigeria's former attorney general last year in an effort to pressure him to drop a $6 billion lawsuit against the company. The lawsuit stemmed from a notorious 1996 drug experiment Pfizer conducted on sick children in Nigeria. The high-profile case has been compared to the plot of the Academy Award-winning movie The Constant Gardener that was based on the best-selling novel by John le Carré.
In 1996, Pfizer's researchers selected 200 children at an epidemic hospital in Nigeria for an experimental drug trial. About 100 of the kids were given an untested oral version of the antibiotic Trovan. Researchers did not obtain signed consent forms, and medical personnel said Pfizer did not tell their parents their children were getting the experimental drug. 11 children died. Others suffered disabling injuries, including deafness, muteness, paralysis, brain damage, loss of sight, slurred speech. The details of the case were first exposed in 2000 in an investigative series in the Washington Post. In 2007, Nigerian officials brought criminal and civil charges against Pfizer in a multi-billion-dollar lawsuit.
The State Department cable from 2009 details a meeting between Pfizer's country manager, Enrique Leggeri, and U.S. officials in Abuja. The cable reads, according to Leggeri, Pfizer had hired investigators to uncover corruption links to Federal Attorney General Michael Aundaka to expose him and put pressure on him to drop the federal cases. A few months later, Nigeria settled with Pfizer for just $75 million.
Joe Stevens is a staff writer for the Washington Post. He was part of the investigative team that broke the story in 2000. He's joining us from the offices of the Washington Post in Washington, D.C. And we're joined here in studio by Musikulu Majid, a Nigerian journalist who's worked on this story for the Next newspaper in Lagos. He's a Ford Foundation International Fellow at the University of New York here in the city. We welcome you both to Democracy Now! Joe Stevens, let's start with you. Lay out the scope of this of the whole experiment that Pfizer did in Nigeria.
Well, this goes back 14 years. It's an amazing, twisted saga, and the WikiLeaks development is just the latest twist and a just amazing story. In '96, Pfizer was trying to get approval for a new antibiotic they thought was going to be a blockbuster drug. And as part of this, they wanted to test it on children because you could get an extension on your patent and make billions more potentially by testing on children. But it's very difficult to get children to take an experimental drug in the US. There's a lot of hoops to jump through. Parents are very protective. And this was a drug that had problems with young mammals. When it was given to rabbits and dogs that were not fully developed, they became arthritic and crippled. And so they were trying to put together the trials. And during this time, one of the lead researchers who was in charge of this drug called Trovan saw that there was a record meningitis epidemic in sub-Saharan Africa. They very quickly, in a matter of weeks, put together a clinical trial, loaded up their experimental drug on a DC-9 and flew it to northern Nigeria. Generally, these pediatric trials, they can take years to put together. This was done very quickly. They arrived at one of the most disgusting, fetid hospitals in the world, according to Doctors Without Borders in Kano. And this hospital was besieged with patients, people bringing in their children, often carried on their backs to this epidemic camp. And Doctors Without Borders had set up there. They were using an approved drug to treat children. Pfizer came in, took over some wards, and started giving out their experimental drug. Half the children got Trovan, half got a proven drug, but they got a substandard dose. And Pfizer was there for a few weeks, tried out its drug, and flew back out. No one really knew, other than people who were in this hospital, knew this had taken place until we came in 4 years later in 2000 and did an investigative look at this. And what we found is
I paused it.
Oh,
I wanted to say something.
I want to say what happened.
You heard him when he said the 2000s, right?
He said 14 years ago.
So this dude put this video in here, and the video is from 2007.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Talking about antibiotics.
2010, they got a
About
YouTube
antibiotics.
2010, but Nigeria sues Pfizer over illegal tests on children back in 07.
Mm-hmm.
What the heck does that got to do with mRNA vaccine?
I don't know, because we was going deep. I was like, wow, like what was we talking about again? Because this talking about antibiotics, and we talking about a vaccine that has been tested globally, right? Didn't they test
Mm-hmm.
Pfizer globally?
Mm-hmm.
In Africa too, right?
Pfizer was in Africa, Europe,
It's legal, right?
well, South America, North America. It was in every country.
Yeah, I don't understand the correlation here. I don't see how that supports anything that would, you know, I mean, contest the virus. I mean, the vaccine. That's just like what they do with Johnson and Johnson and the talk the talk powder, the baby powder. They do the same thing. They ain't done no looking into that. And then they assume just because there's a settlement that is admittance of guilt, not understanding how civil suits work, and that is not the case. Just because somebody makes a settlement does not imply any guilt at all.
So Pfizer had no.
All right. Of course, I see this and I say, bro, are you serious?
And he was serious. He was.
And Nat Tubman says, dead AFF.
Told you.
Mm-hmm. Here we
Because I
go.
was silent. Let me see this. Let me zoom in.
This is the third scientist. He says, a Facebook video, a Facebook video is not substantial evidence to provide a solid argument, bro. You have nothing that can turn the science around that proves that this vaccine, mRNA, is wrong, not working. You just living in fear with no solution in the pandemic.
It's true.
He says it's on Facebook, but it's not a Facebook video. It's a news publication. They're 501c3. If you don't know the difference, then I see why you agree with everything somebody tells you. This is a factual information that actually happened. And there are more recent court documents that proves it. And then he says, you don't.
Who's contesting it's not factually? Where did you get that from? What you said that said that it wasn't factual?
Mm-hmm. I don't know what I said for him to say that. But anyway, he says, you don't either. If you did, your ass would be in a lab coat doing the work. Living in fear is accepting everything that living in fear is accepting everything that white folks tell you about this virus. That I do believe is real. But all of the study that I have done on the court cases of both Pfizer and Johnson, I wouldn't trust them. Solution.
Stop right there. How is he doing research and you looking at court cases? If you concerned about the virus, shouldn't you be looking at immunology and virology?
Not the virus, the companies.
He's looking at court cases that aren't even tied to the. That's crazy. I told you they go with the Johnson and Johnson. He about to bring up the powder, the baby powder on you.
Here we go. So he continues to say, especially when they have a history of talking to black people, the first to be tested and failed products. All I'm telling you are the facts, and it's called fear. Then so be it. Nothing wrong with having fear, as long as your fear points in the right direction. I much rather live my type of fear than your type of fear. Me, you just accepted what white people told you, bro. Soon as he did this, he just accepted what white people told you. Who was in the video? Was it a black person in the video telling them about Nigeria from 2007? No, it was white people.
They had one African dude. They did, but
We don't even know what we can't confirm if he sells a hand. Then I said, you just refuted yourself because no black person ever told you don't trust vaccine science and vaccination technology. White anti-vaxxers gave you your belief, which ain't based on evidence.
That's
He said,
Mike right there.
yeah, he says, I've accepted that black people were targeted and have a high death rate from one of their products that they solicited with them. There's nothing mythological about that. They only reported the story. I don't understand why we talking about this, and I sit here and reset the agenda and talked about mRNA vaccines. But he continues to keep talking. He says, your head is all over Facebook and it needs to be in some of these publications, court documents that I've read. I don't want to read everything he said. I'm going to go on to me. Hold on real quick. I said, Net, hey, bro, you don't have to convince me you don't have a solution to a reported 900,000 deaths from COVID-19 and a kid who just recently died 2 days later. So what are you talking about? It's craziness. It's all fear-mongering and no evidence-based information. All your comments show a level of ignorance and a lack of understanding. You have a good day. I don't want to waste my time, especially after your failed attempt to think you're on the right side of history. He continues, what they fail to report, and in some cases are misreporting, are the cases of people who had died, had the vaccine and died days later. So I'm gonna skip all of that because it's more pseudoness. Then he posts this. He posts the Warriors Damian Lee reveals he tested positive for COVID. So and then he posts this doctor right here who died in India. So I had to comment because he showed me some sources. So now I'm gonna deal with the source. Now, the NBA player was not fully vaccinated and was exposed between shots. It takes 2 weeks after the last shot to be vaccinated fully. And after you get the first shot, you can get COVID. However, the vaccine still worked because it did not allow him to transmit. He didn't have to be hospitalized, nor did he die. Vaccines are not 100%. Nothing is 100%. It's 94 to 95 infectious. And if you read the data on that, it's working well, sir. And then I said again, you didn't read he died from COVID-19, not a vaccine. So he's insinuating, and let me just say this clear. He says in the first part, well, the second sentence, this physician was an infectious disease specialist and he was fully vaccinated. This is what he said, fully vaccinated. Went to India to help for 1 week and died of COVID-19. So let's pull this source up. And let's see if he's fully vaccinated.
That's the same source right there you're gonna pull up?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, these are some good scientists, man. They scholarship is just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see it. Don't click the link and see how this shit say something way different than what this man is saying right here.
Okay, no. Remember, this guy is fully vaccinated. So we ain't reading nothing. We're looking for fully vaccinated.
Okay.
I'm looking for fully vaccinated. Mind y'all, I already read this story. I'm looking for fully vaccinated. All this do is tell me about this guy. Now, let's give it here. His wife told Henderson Times that he had received both Pfizer vaccine doses in the U.S. before heading to India. But what we don't know is when he got his second shot and when he headed to India. We're short on the data. Fully vaccinated people have a significantly lower risk of getting COVID-19 and even lower risk of severe COVID-19. It's possible to die from the virus after being fully vaccinated, but it's exceptionally rare. In the United States, out of 105 million fully vaccinated people, about 70 cases of death from COVID-19 have been reported. Do the math on that.
70?
Mm-hmm.
105 million. Okay. Yeah, that's rare. Rare. Extremely.
How
So
many is
I would have to pull out the calculator on that one. But that's looking like below zero, huh? 0%?
hold on.
Below it. Because I don't know if people understand how much a million is. That's a lot. I know they think 7 is a lot, but a million is a lot. 100 million? Maybe if they put $100 million
I just did a
in a
million. I didn't
you just
want to
did a
do
million.
100.
But
Yeah, because if you do 100
zero.
million, you just add two zeros. It's 0.000007.
Come on, count them zeros
Yes, it's 7 zeros
before we even get a digit.
before you get a digit. It's very rare. Now, what you don't know, and this is what it doesn't tell you, is watch my screen.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Don't do that. You're not gonna find that in the court document.
Dun, 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 dun,
You're not gonna find that in the
dun,
court document. See?
dun, 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 dun. Now, before I touch anything, any article, or say anything, at the G7 conference, it was reported that 4 people at the G7 conference tested positive for COVID-19 variant B1617, a new variant. Listen to me, a new variant. Now, if we go back to this doctor right here, he's fully vaccinated. But what he's not vaccinated against is a new variant in a place that he ain't been to since the pandemic hit. Now I didn't want to do this, and I didn't want to say anything to people like this, but it was a small percentage of the B1167, right? Small here. It's the fastest growing surge of COVID-19 cases. This variant is actually ripping.
That's the one that got people getting burnt up right now, like getting cremated.
Yes, they're getting cremated in India because it's more transmissible.
Yeah, deadly.
It's like the South African variant, but it's being more transmissible, ladies and gentlemen. Now, you ain't got to call it a new variant, but it is what it is. So we don't know if Pfizer ever tested it. Let's see. Can't spell right now.
B1, what is it?
Yeah, against B. Like that. B1167. It's not. It's not. It would have gave us the variants. Let me see. It might. I don't know. Let me.
It's 8.1. That's pretty. That's recent, but not too recent. I don't think we got nothing yet.
Well, I don't know if we have any results. Yeah, I mean, we would have. See, you got South Africa, you got all of that. You got the UK, you got the UK strand, but you don't have. Let me just change it to India. Look at that. Look at that.
Oh.
This is a global concern, the variant from India. So we just back to that. Pfizer's
Yeah, I don't
COVID
see
protects against worrying coronavirus. That's a Qatar. This
Qatar
was
is
a good.
that's in Israel or something, huh? What that said?
It ain't nowhere near there.
Oh.
This is against the UK variant. This is this other strand, UK strands, variants. Uh, we don't know how deadly those new ones are, and this one ain't showing me this ain't got India in it.
Well, they don't even got no vaccines out there. They don't got their own vaccine. They don't got nobody else vaccine. They had to send them boys vaccine. So, I mean,
Yeah. So BBC puts in their argument, and
BBC be
people are
tripping
like
sometimes.
the only thing that'll stop this is that now they're doing stuff, but look at that. That second wave, bro. They is Ricky shot. So I'm gonna stop right there. I don't want to lose my point. The bro goes to India and die.
Yeah.
He's exposed to a new variant. You just keep it short and skinny. He's exposed to a new variant, and we don't. And look, and he probably was fully vaccinated because he part of that first wave of people because he front line. We don't know when he was vaccinated because it doesn't say in the article. However, I'm going to assume that he was vaccinated way before he went to India. So whatever variant he had, I mean, whatever vaccine he had was to protect against the current variants. Now, I address it and deal with it. Now, let's go here. I meant to put up another lie talking about people who died after they got the vaccine, bro. Almost 200 million people in the U.S. vaccinated. You can't find no deaths. Do not project on me. Do you read anywhere where I said the physician died of the vaccine? I said that he was fully vaccinated and still died. He wasn't even vaccinated. Please explain. So I think I did say that. Now, he received a Pfizer vaccine. Now, they don't know what I'm saying when I say vaccinated, because if there's a new strand and it is spreading in the US, guess what they're going to make us do? What are we going to have to do, Chavis? Oh, you fell off. All right, keep it simple. If the India strand was in the United States, in the vicinity of the United States, and was becoming a problem, ladies and gentlemen, those of us who have already received both doses of the vaccine, if we're not protected against the Indian strand, they're going to create a booster shot that will help protect us against the strand. That's a fact. This is why they're trying to hurry up and vaccinate as many people as possible so the virus can't find a host and it has to go somewhere else. Now he says he can't read. He keeps his eyes fixated on Facebook and YouTube. And at this point they're talking crazy. So then he puts up a medical apartheid. Right? When he puts up this book, I really wish I can go in my inbox and show you a conversation between a Massa Warrior Clan member and the author of this book, and him talking about how anti-vaxxers are misrepresenting this person's work and using it to argue against vaccines. And then you'll hear this person tell the member of the Massa Warrior Clan that, they're not anti-vaxxers. They're not against vaccines at all. Their work is being misinterpreted, and usually people do that all the time. And so I think, we were pushing to, get a statement out of that. But however, it was kind of brushed under the rug as if to say, like, I'm not entertaining those people. So Cedric comes on here and watch. He go at me. Bro, you always co-sign Uncle S BS. You along with him and is poison to our community. It's Cedric. Him. And then he said, Ned Turner, bro, these dudes are agents. So, you know, me being me, apparently you don't know about me. I don't co-sign Uncle West. I co-sign the science and stand on it. I argue with him and others equally. But y'all wrong, and Nate Tubman, apparently you didn't read the book, LOL. It don't support you. Cedric, your mother an agent, fam. Cedric, refute the information. Forget the person. Stop arguing about what you can't refute by copping out and calling someone agent. You the agent. Then he says, I do comment. It's apparent who's an avid reader and who's not. Remember, you're the one who told the lie, claiming that the doctor wasn't vaccinated, and then you tried to insinuate that I said that he died from the vaccine. Not only do you not read, but you also a liar that doesn't read. I put the link in the book up here. It's the #1 book that supports exactly what I'm saying. Seems like the more you talk, the more lies you tell. If you embarrass or right quick. Now, so far I count 3 lies. So I say, you know, I tell him about the author of the book, but that's irrelevant. I go on to say, I don't lie. That's the difference between you and I. Sorry, not sorry. But I'm not wasting my time with fools. I drop source information, deal with the sources, or leave me alone, fam. None of y'all refuted one source I posted. Why? Because they refute those claims made earlier, and you never deal with the information. It's always an emotional rant when y'all gonna grow up. And then he says, that's right, there's a lie. #4, my dude. I was the one who sourced my information. I see not one source you posted on this thread. Now, this was a day ago. I have not commented since a day ago. It's probably 2 days ago now. I have not commented on his post. This person puts this on here. I can admit I'm not the smartest guy on the planet, but I've been on, so I don't know what this is. Let's see. Before I even hit play. I can admit I'm not the smartest guy on the planet, but I've been on Earth 41 years, and I've been around a lot of lies. I can tell when someone lying, and this dude lying. So, let's see what he says.
So, are these vaccines safe?
Well, the FDA, not being pressured, will look hard at that. The FDA is the gold standard of regulators, and their current guidance on this, if they stick with that, is very, very appropriate. And you know, the side effects were not super severe. That is, it didn't cause permanent health problems for the things there. Moderna did have to go with a fairly high dose, and so to get the antibodies. Some of the other vaccines are able to go with lower dose.
Again, this is why I don't have an Instagram page. This is why. This is proof positive why I don't have an Instagram page. Why the hell would I go to Instagram to get scientific information? So they can chop up what he's saying when he really ain't the one explaining it. You need to be listening to the actual scientists. He just funds it and know a little bit about it. Moving on. Nobody says nothing to him. People dangerously stupid. Did you take it yet? I would get the shot, but according to my hematologist, I still have antibodies. Bingo. I don't know what they're talking about. I'm convinced black people are just spooked out and lost. Bruh says, as we should be. And he posts this. In medical school, Negroes were likewise convinced that their inferiority. Oh my God. All right, let me stop. All right. He posts more of the book. And then he goes on and he said, Dr. G. Wilson on the Spanish flu. Then he keeps on. And then CK says, and what about the healthy adults and children that have died? What is your excuse for those people? Says we're dealing with a weaponized virus. So now the virus is weaponized. People weaponize viruses. And it brings up Big Pharma. Look at that. Tuskegee He said, we used to be holistic healers, shamans with doctors. Man, bruh, say it. Then it says, like, okay, so I gotta look. Social media scientists. Social media scientists. Okay, now CK dropping some links on him to educate the brother on the path. He ain't gonna read none of the stuff that she talking about. It's like we waste our time. Here go another one. It's just too many unknowns with every passing day. There's some new development, some new form of testing, some new strand. It's just keeping confusing and complicated to keep an average person. No, it's not. Go get vaccinated. Just ask for sources and we will drop it. Says what doesn't make sense and someone will explain it. The more you know, the less scared folks will be. So was Tuskegee. Why the do we keep talking about Tuskegee? All right, bro, it's posts like this that let me know MFers ain't who they say they are. So he got an issue, right? I told you, Unc's post brings out the social media scientists. CK tries to remedy it, sitting back. Maybe they don't trust the government who had poisoned them and still poison them and even contaminate their water. I don't know. Maybe they could be it, Eugene's. Go drink some orange juice. Did already. Yet you ignored the obvious answers, silly. They go back and forth. This is what he does. He's an agent. You know, says he continues to do this. I know, it's obvious. Right? He says, then go live and take the vaccine. Unc already went live and took the vaccine, posted a video on the website. Why get a vaccine when you can just quarantine for 14 days? This idiot. Everything is not for everybody. Unc replies, but the coronavirus is? Go ahead and take it. What's in it? Let's watch this, y'all. Watch this. He tells them to go ahead and take it and then ask what's in it. So I reply, Uncle S, what's in it? LOL. We are this far along, 200 million vaccinated, and you asking what's in it. Okay. Salt, sugars, and a messenger that trains the body how to make a synthetic spike protein. I just sum it up. CK responds, and then she says this. Is there, let's look. So this is social media scientist, right? Is there a vaccine for food and water? Is there a vaccine for food and water? Can I get an answer to that in the chat? He can, then I answer. You know I answer. Food will kill you before a vaccine. And if you consume too much water at one time, it can kill you. Or if you can't swim, you out of here. And then I say, Keith, your question is ignorant, to be honest. A vaccine for food and water? Bruh, don't understand what a vaccine is. He said, I'll take my chances with food and water. You can keep the vaccine. What's more ignorant, taking a vaccine for a man-made illness made by the same ones who made a well-known illness more powerful? You have no idea what the side effects will be. This shows you what he does not know. He don't know anything about what I do. So I don't say anything anymore because it's just going to be back and forth. So CK drops the links. But once again, when you do this, the people are not going to read. Now, one thing about it, death is final. It's the fact that people think the scientists and the government is one entity, and no trust is the racist government is the real problem on West. Said I don't believe that black people been taking vaccines. Think about it. He said that's true, bro. Not enough anyway. So they go back and forth for a little bit. Nothing too bad. This person drops the vaccine affects people differently. Now, when he shows this sister, remember, I've already covered this sister. But what he don't know is I'm familiar. So I'm going to skip all the other comments and I'm going to get directly to the point. I answer CK. Yes, she had pre-existing conditions, diabetes, and more. And it's said that she didn't take her meds. Now, and then of course they say she died from after effects. So the vaccine did not send her to her deathbed. It's inconclusive to determine that outcome and not have the data you're assuming. Jean responds, if she had not taken the vaccine, she would still be alive. And then I asked him to prove it. And then better yet, I ain't got time for it. This is from his source. The state's investigation into a woman's death shortly after receiving a coronavirus vaccine ruled that the shot did not contribute to the fatality, but she had COVID-19 and suffered other medical complications. Don't believe me? The first paragraph of this dude's source. The first paragraph. Read the stuff you're posting, fam. She's already had COVID. She already had COVID before she got the vaccine. Nobody mentions this. She literally tested positive. She worked in the facility where she was susceptible. People don't talk about that. Here we go to Skiggy again. All right. He said it's a vaccine, where people get sucked and dumped for dead like bad trash. This is the Muhammad brother. You know how this gonna go. Nothing's wrong. Saying it's just a vaccine with the history of white medicine is wrong. Poor sister. Bro, again, he trying to educate people on vaccine history. Alvin said he blamed the internet. I agree with him. Said food promoting a vaccine for a disease that the government itself said all you need is a 10-day chill at home. Smart guy right here. A 10-day chill. A 10-day chill. And it says he's an agent. That's why he's pushing this BS. Then dude said, yep, he is. And then, they continue to do this all on post. He's an agent. But what this dude doesn't know that when you contract COVID-19, you could be asymptomatic and you can take a 10-day chill, but you still can have lingering effects. It's called long COVID. Long COVID can cause your death, which it has. It can tear your heart up, your lungs up, your liver up, your taste and smell up, give you brain fog, eat away at certain parts of your body that you don't know exist, mainly your lungs over due time. So next thing you know, you're going to need a new lung transplant. But what do I know how? And then Jafar Kazim, I'm waiting until I have, it says, I'm waiting till I have to really take it and there's no choice. But you wearing a mask. All right, then man, I'm gonna say this, then I'm done. The people who made the shit said it won't stop you from getting it. So ask yourself what the fuck it is then. See, this again is the ignorance. because of something last year, and they didn't come out and say it. Had they came out and said it directly that the vaccine prevents transmission, all of that, they would never have the grounds to say that. But they didn't have the science to stand on to back it, so they couldn't say it. See what I'm saying? So that's that on that. The bruh put the book back up. Unc responds. We got another Facebook, so let's go. One of the world's poorest countries has one of the world's lowest COVID deaths. That's just COVID deaths. That don't mean that COVID doesn't exist. All right, so this is his source. It says at the end of April, only 254 deaths were attributed to COVID-19 in Haiti over the course of the entire pandemic. We're still in the middle of the pandemic. The Caribbean nation struggles with infectious disease as COVID-19 death rate of just 22 per million, right? In the US, COVID death rate is 1,800 per million. And in parts of Europe, the fatality rate is 3,000 per million. Think about that. That's good for Haiti. They also have strict rules. They lock down. They don't let you do stuff. They really handle their business because they need to get back. They suffering from tourism. Come on, man. But, you know, it was a nice try. All right. Dang, I didn't mean to do all that. Let me get back. So let me wrap up. There's more to meets the eye because it gets worse. It started off worse and it ain't doing nothing but get bad. And people don't understand why I said what I said when I said that this dude wasn't vaccinated. But I figured that I would explain myself on the air so people could understand without the confusion. So let me wrap up. As countries race to vaccinate against COVID-19 Haiti, he shows 2 articles of Haiti. He says, not trying to be funny, but why did you post this without reading it? This supports my claims 200%. You are behind not because they don't want the vaccines, but because they are not set up to expect the vaccines. This is the government failure at an all-time high. So he killed him because he used his source to kill him. Then this dude shows, he goes to Google. And then, you know, of course, the dude still calling Uncle Agent. And then, legit, only a vaccine? What does that mean, Uncle West? And then you got Keith again, pseudo. And here go the next social media scientist right here. We aren't stupid. We can discern the bullshit that has been going on. No disrespect, but F the vaccine. I'll take it when they literally start making people take it. So he's not against it. He's just saying F it. It's craziness. This sister, who is sweet, we're Facebook friends, but her household is kind of mixed because the person in her household, I don't think they agree on this subject. But she gonna say history. What history? She's never clear. And then I try to send her some information, but she don't really get it. So she thinks things are trickery, and it does more harm than good. She doesn't know, and she just did this today, or 13 hours ago. I ain't gonna respond to that. He said, would you question Dr. Mike Yeading, Judy Mikovich, Cahill, or Vanden Bosch? All of these are pseudos. Judy Mikovich was the epidemiologist who got mad because they wouldn't even do a report. So she went rogue against everybody talking crazy, and that's what she came up with the pandemic, or part of the pandemic or whatever. And then this person says, can you tell me the ingredients? Salt, water, oil, sugars. Kept it short. people don't understand that how far science has advanced. See, social media scientist, he continues, being sensitive is not the same thing as debunking someone. Y'all actions are extremely suspect. And, you know, of course, we already dealt with this sister when she said what she said about the 8-year-old. But this is this week's episode of a look at social media scientists and their attempts to refute vaccines. As you can see, there was really no real attempt to refute the vaccines. There was just attempts to go against the vaccine. So let me unshare my screen. And let me say this one more time. The doctor that died that was fully vaccinated was not protected against a variant if you've never tested against that variant. Ben said, I like the social media science title, using that. I got 1 month left. Okay, all right, cool. I can't tell y'all that. He says, you see that girl in the chat talking about airborne, waterborne vaccine. Oh, okay. Nah, I wasn't looking in the chat. Who talking about airborne, waterborne? You talking about Nzinga? There's no vaccine that can be put into water or in food. I don't know what y'all talking about. Hold on, I can't see all the comments. There was talk of making a vaccine airborne or waterborne or putting it in food so that everybody would be forced vaccinated. Nah, not scientists. Scientists, they're not doing that. There's no airborne or waterborne or forced vaccination. That will never happen. That won't happen on nobody's watch. Okay, so I'm caught up. I just seen it. Let me get off that. Yeah, so he said maybe 10 days listening to chill. Talk to me. Yeah, it's intellectual jihad. So, ladies and gentlemen, what we just bear witness to was the level of ignorance that continues to permeate throughout the community. These are just only some of the social media scientists that exist in the social media world, especially among Unc West. On the other hand, I'm not too familiar with a lot of those personalities. I've never seen them actually do any real research to come to an honest conclusion about some of the things that they actually bear witness to. I know I'm gonna have to run extra hard tomorrow. I think I'm gonna run twice tomorrow. I've been eating, snacking on stuff. But that's it, man. That's the end of the show for me. Man, Bell, hey, stay away from social media scientists. If you want real scientists, go deal with the epidemiologists, the virologists, and the immunologists, the experts that's actually in the field if you got questions and need answers. If Science with Shawn can't help you, the experts will. And it's our job to help you get the right information. They still don't understand that the doctor that died in India was not vaccinated against a new variant. It doesn't know that if they haven't tested against the Indian variant at the time the doctor goes there, how do they know that it's susceptible to protect him against it and he lived? They don't know. The virus can break through. That's why they say it's not 100%. It's 94, 95%. But if it's a new variant, it's not highly, if it's tested against that and we have the data, then we would have been able to immediately go to the page and pull it. But the main variants was Brazil, South Africa, the UK, and the original variant. New variants surfaced, and the US wasn't even testing for different variants. And what they have to do is when they test people, they begin to, when they find out it's a new variant, they begin to test the vaccines against the variant to see how well it stops the infection, prevents infection, right? Because we're getting infected with viruses every day. What it is it's not transmitting or going over and turning into a disease, getting you sick, getting your hospitalization, all the whole 9 yards. So that's what happens with that. He said if pseudo was a stock, it should be bullish. Man, but on that note, let me get out of here, man. Shimmer Hotel.
Log in to KofiPaisaTV.com and get Spears of the Mossy Volume 1 by Kofi Paisa Research Team, from Spears the Pen Volume 2 by Kofi Paisa Research Team, Spiritual Combat Volume 3 by Kofi Paisa Research Team, One Night Before Bed by Any Harret Shawn Calfunny, Kalawa's Trip to the Motherland by Kofi Paisa, From Cocaine to Consciousness by Any Harret Shawn Calfunny, As I Learned, We All Learn by Kofi Paisa. Also, if you want fresh merch, go to our online store, Family Connect Apparel, and get all the brands. Also, get our 54 deck of quiz and educational cards available now on KofiPaisaTV.com.